If you had to guess what Minecraft structure is probably the most underutilized in the game, you might say something like jungle temples, desert wells, or even those ruined villages. However, I would argue each of these structures has a purpose, even if that purpose isn't fully realized. The jungle temples are more or less tiny dungeons complete with traps, puzzles, and a little bit of loot. That loot kinda sucks and so does the puzzle, but hey, you know what, they're trying. The desert well and ruined villages fill a different purpose, one that many people neglect when they critique Minecraft: world building. Desert wells and ruined villages are not things you are meant to triumph over or conquer. They're just existing for the sake of giving the world a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor. Not every structure has to be some big challenge for players to overcome, or a feature with a super useful item or tools like bastions or villages. It's okay for some of these things to just exist. However, I would argue these are not the most underutilized structures in Minecraft. The most underutilized structure in Minecraft isn't a structure at all. It's actually a feature limited to only a select few biomes. Most players never come across this feature. You are more likely to find a desert well or an ancient city than run into one of these. I am of course talking about fossils. Yeah, these things. They're so unimportant that Mojang didn't bother to classify them as a structure, meaning you cannot use /locate to find it. Trust me, I've tried. They simply don't show up. You have to manually place one using the /place command or get extremely lucky in survival mode. But the fossils and the desert well exist for the same reason, to be world spice. They serve the same function. However, I think desert wells succeed in this regard, where fossils fail. Let me explain how and why this is the case. The desert well is pretty self-explanatory. It gives players a source of water just in case there isn't one nearby. It's in a desert. That makes sense. With 1.20, Mojang added a couple pieces of suspicious sand to each desert well, just to play into that new archaeology feature. Moreover, if we look at them from a world building point of view, desert wells boost the immersion of the game. Coming across a strange yet relatively insignificant structure, it just adds a lot to the exploration of the game, the mystery of it, if you will. A lot of people give the desert well a lot of shit, and I think most people misunderstand the purpose of them. Like I said earlier, they're not meant to be some useful feature like a village or pose a challenge like an ocean monument or a dungeon. They just exist, and it's nice to just exist sometimes. Just appreciate the little things, you know? Like desert wells. In a very similar fashion, fossils add a bit of spice to the underground. They are incredibly difficult to find, so much so that you're more likely to bump into one of these things when you're not actively looking for one. They offer very little to the player both in world building and in any kind of progression. Sure, bone blocks are useful, especially in bulk, but they're not something you can't get elsewhere. Like how desert wells now have suspicious sand, fossils have either coal ore or diamond ore around them just to spice them up. You may not be particularly excited about finding coal ore amongst the bones, hell, you might not even realize that the coal is even a part of the fossil, but it is a nice little treasure for unearthing one of these ancient skeletons. The diamond ones, I've never actually found one without cheating. I think I found 2 fossils that are coal in my time, but I don't think I've ever found a diamond one. They're incredibly rare, and by the time you find them, you're much more likely to find diamonds elsewhere. This is where I think fossils fail compared to where desert wells succeed. Because of how easily one can find a desert well, the well can easily achieve that immersion and world building I mentioned earlier. The fossils fail in this regard because you're not going to find them. You could dig around in a desert for hours and get nowhere closer to finding a fossil, and that's just not a good idea when we're trying to make a feature that builds upon the world's immersion. I should remind you though that if you're looking to fossils for some kind of progression or reward, you've come to the wrong spot. These little structures do not exist for that purpose. You can take the bones if you'd like, or you can leave the ancient beast to rest. Or you can let it sit there even longer until it becomes oil and then use it to start the Industrial Revolution in Minecraft, because nothing's more fun than adding capitalism to every given experience in life. All jokes aside, I love these little guys. However, I do think they are a bit poorly implemented. I'm proposing that they should be a little more common and have more of a purpose. As I've stated numerous times in this video, it's okay for something to just exist. However, I think the immersive experience that fossils create should be pushed a bit more into the forefront, if that makes any sense. This may sound a bit contradictory, but I think aligning the purpose and effort of finding a structure is important in this case, but you might disagree. Fossils, in case you didn't know, were added to Minecraft just after the 1.9 combat update, 1.10. 1.10 gets memed on pretty hard today, but I actually think it brought several really good things to the game. That being husks and polar bears. I'm sorry, that's a lie. Polar bears are kind of cute though, but they're fucking useless. Structure blocks and fossils were added in this update as well. Structure blocks are really useful for creating custom dungeons or other structures via data pack. They've helped me automate my dungeons in the past in my previous Minecraft server. While they have limitations for what I'll be doing today, they're pretty much perfect. You see, today I'm releasing my first ever data pack, Fossils Plus. Fossils Plus is a tiny data pack meant to expand on the existing fossils in the game. Firstly, I'm going to make more fossils. The current ones are fine, but we need some variety in shape and size. I like Mojang's little skull design, but I want to do something more, I don't know, like bird-like. I also did one with a creeper face, just for fun. Alongside this bird design, I added some claws, some classic rib cages, and even mixed and matched them together until I came up with 7 different designs. In addition to this, I wanted to ensure that they spawned more often. In addition to having fossils spawn in deserts, mangrove swamps, and swamps, they will now also spawn in lush caves, dripstone caves, and the deep dark, meaning that you are more likely to come across one. Of course, like the other fossils, I added in some ores. While I like the way Mojang does it with either coal or diamonds, I wanted to give a little bit more variety. So I did some iron, some gold, some emeralds, you kind of get the point. After I was done with this, I was ready to put them into structure blocks, but something felt missing. We have this whole archaeology system which saw other pre-existing structures updated to include archaeology, but fossils got nothing? What a missed opportunity. Imagine instead of just digging out the ore, you could also comb through suspicious sand and maybe get a couple extra goodies while you're at it. So I made 9 custom suspicious gravels with different goodies to find inside of them. You'll have to download the data pack to see what those goodies are. Some include custom items that may help you on your journey. For me, adding archaeology to the fossils accentuates that theme of ancient exploration. Finally, I want to address my biggest gripe with fossils. They're a pain in the ass to find. So I decided to make even more fossils for the surface. Now you can find fossils on the surface of the world. While these don't feature the same ores or goodies as you'd find in the underground fossils, they serve as eye candy and offer 2 things to the player. 1, wither roses because fuck it, why not? And 2, pitcher plants without needing a sniffer. These fit nicely into the world and I tried to make them blend into any biome. Notice that I didn't use grass or sand, but rather neutral brown blocks to fit in with deserts, forests, and plains alike. You might be asking yourself, why give all the cool custom stuff to the underground fossils, but not the ones in the surface? That's because I want to reinforce this idea that structures in Minecraft can exist for fun, not for some kind of tool or utilization for you to latch onto. And this little data pack, and I really do mean little, this thing is tiny, should further that message. I won't lie though, this is my first data pack and it was sort of a pain in the ass to make. I spent hours debugging my own code on stream. The solution to about 90% of my problems was me making a spelling error or capitalizing the M in Minecraft. To be fair to myself, I was making these JSON files in the default Windows text editor, which probably shouldn't have done, but you know what, I'm here and I did it and I got it done, so go me. All in all, I did learn to code a little. I learned more about creating data packs, and I'm hoping I can take this knowledge and use it in the future for bigger and more impressive works. And this is something I encourage everyone to do. Instead of having to pay someone hundreds of dollars to make you a shitty mod, why don't you just learn to code? Unironically, learn to code and then make it yourself. It's actually really fun. Once you get past the debugging and the stress and the where the fuck did I fuck this up, reading the error logs and all that. You know, maybe actually coding isn't really all that fun. It's not fun. Coding isn't the fun part. The fun part is the end result. Finally, I want to throw something at you guys and hear your thoughts on it. You all know I'm a huge fan of vaults and how I think that they fix survival multiplayer by adding loot to structures that anyone can find, not just the first guy to get it. I'm looking at you, generic middle school kid with fully enchanted netherite, and just stop that. Let other people have fun. I think it would be fun to put vaults in fossils and have them linked to like a desert loot table or something of that nature. I just love vaults and their capabilities are endless. They're perfect. I'd be curious to see if you guys want a little update or an alternate version of this data pack that adds them in. If there's enough support for it in the comments, I might just do it. With that, feel free to download and support my little data pack by downloading it from my Discord in the description below. In case you're a long-time viewer, you might be wondering, didn't you just say that you were done with Minecraft content a long time ago? And yeah, I did say that. However, after seeing the reception from my 2 Zelda videos, one thing is clear. You guys will only watch my Minecraft content, which I originally wanted to say was okay, but being transparent with you guys, that does kind of suck sometimes. However, that is part of the job description in a way. I'm fine with that, but at a certain point I have to balance what pays my bills and what I'm passionate about. I wish I could just say screw it and dive all into another form of content and just let my day job hold me up, but that's just not happening. I need YouTube money to pay my bills. I'm between a rock and a hard place here, if that makes any sense. On one hand, I could go full-time at my day job and then make plenty of more money. However, that would mean even less time to do YouTube and pursuing the career that I'm actually passionate about. But I can't rely on YouTube to pay my bills either, so I had to strike a balance. I hope this all makes sense. It's been really hard feeling like I cannot break out of a certain sphere of content. This has been my dream from day one, but my dream included a diverse array of video subjects, not just a singular niche that is Minecraft. I'd love to make general video game content, but it seems like my videos don't reach people interested in other games. So, long story short, because of this, I've sort of remade my schedule. I'm now uploading videos on Fridays, streaming on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and uploading a new episode of my podcast, The Stupid Timeline, every Wednesday. Mostly, Emily would be busy with school every once in a while, so that might impact her recording, and she's also on vacation right now, so you're not getting one anytime soon. But the point is, hopefully, every Wednesday. This means you get content from me 4 or 5 days of the week. I'll be trying to do Minecraft videos every other week. That way I can still make videos like the Zelda videos. If you need more Minecraft content from me, more than just video essays every week, check out the live stream. And if you can't make it to any of my live streams, consider becoming a member where you get access to the full VODs. But if money is tight, and trust me, I get it, I just complained about money. We all got bills to pay. You can always subscribe to my second channel and get the occasional stream highlight compilation alongside any other videos that I don't really think fit in the main channel. And with that, I am off. Thank you guys so much for watching. What data pack do you guys want me to make next? You have any ideas? Because I'm having fun making these things so far, and I'd love to make more. But anyway, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye!